Welcome to the Be Unstoppable podcast. Me and the team are so glad that you're joining us for this episode. Your support is invaluable and we'd be so grateful if you could hit the subscribe button. It helps us keep bringing you amazing interviews with top-notch guests. Whether you're watching on Patreon or YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer or any other platform, subscribing really makes a difference. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get back to this episode.
Hi, my name's Mark Henry. And I'm a music manager and a music exec and an artist, respectfully. and yeah, and more importantly, and the number one thing is I'm a fan first. I'm a fan of music before all of them things. That's the most important thing I would say.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Be Unstoppable podcast with me, your host, Ben Wynter. Today we have a truly exceptional guest whose innovative vision and strategic genius have left an indelible mark on the music industry. Mark Henry of Tru Tribe, known for his remarkable work with UK rapper Knucks, has been instrumental in securing various nominations and awards that have catapulted their collaborative efforts to new heights. Under Mark's leadership, Knucks received multiple nominations at the 2023 MOBO Awards, including wins for Best Hip Hop Act and Album of the Year for Alpha Place. This critically acclaimed album also earned a prestigious Mercury Prize nomination, highlighting its significance in artistic and cultural impact within the UK music scene. In addition, Knucks' collaboration with Puma, showcasing his hit freestyle track Los Polos Hermanos, has further solidified his industry presence, leading to increased recognition and accolades whilst he has performed sold-out tours in both Australia and the US. These impressive achievements underscore the success of Tru Tribe under Mark Henry's leadership, firmly establishing them as influential players in the music industry. Going against the traditional music industry business model, Mark Henry and Tru Tribe operate under a unique business structure. Please join me in welcoming the mastermind behind Tru Tribe, my very good friend and brother, Mark Henry. And remember, you have the power to choose your path in life, but always choose to be unstoppable. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. That was a sick intro though, man. Thanks for that, man. I ain't never been... That sounds like some WWE shit, you know what I'm saying? Some WWE shit. I like that.
Well, I can write your biography in the future. So let's take it back to the start. You arrived in the UK at a young age after coming here from Nigeria. Can you share a bit about that experience and how it shaped you?
Yeah, I come here when I was 4 years old. Outside was England and my mum's house past the welcome mat is Nigeria. Yeah. That was it, yeah. What life was growing up. So I can do what I want when I was outside, but once I was back in my house, I was in Nigeria, you know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much, I believe that a lot of people out there, a lot of Africans feel the same way, Caribbeans as well feel the same way. But pretty much regular stuff, yeah. Yeah.
So growing up in North London as a Nigerian immigrant, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced and how did that influence your journey to where you are today?
Things that were normal to me in my house, coming outside weren't normal to most people. You know what I'm saying? Foods, and it's weird. Like I grew up in an area where it was a weird vibe. It was a weird time. Foods, different foods that get celebrated now, and I love it. Like this whole jollof rice wars and all of this, and I love it. Like we're in a new place now, but growing up it was very different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So, in what way? In what way was that?
It weren't as embraced as it is as it now. Being different, different cultures. Like it weren't embraced as it is now, as clever as it is now. So for lack of a better word, but yeah, it was culture clash, really. A lot of culture clash, and adjusting, and it was different, like because of not only culture clash outside, but culture clash inside in the home as well. Meaning that, like, remember, my dad and my mum are trying to raise me on the traditions of how they feel life was for a African kid, a Nigerian kid. But I wasn't raised in Nigeria. I was raised in North London. You know what I'm saying? London. So I'm learning the culture over here at the same time they are. And being younger, you're going to learn a lot faster than the older people. So it was sometimes it worked in my favor because I can get away with things that they didn't understand, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it didn't work in my favor because of I couldn't do things that other kids wouldn't, because of they didn't understand, my parents didn't understand it at the time.
Okay. So what sparked your passion for music, and at what point did you decide you wanted to pursue a career in rap? 'Cause you started as a rapper, right?
Yeah, many moons ago, yeah. Many moons ago, yeah. I would say it's my dad and my dad's brother. It's my dad and my dad's brother, and this is transcended. This is before hip hop. This is just music in general, like. And my earliest memories of music was my dad's brother, my dad's younger brother, Uncle Sonny. He used to play around the guitar, you know what I'm saying, play around the guitar and stuff. And my dad had a mad vinyl collection. I mean, like, madness, like. And it was so eclectic for, like, I could be listening to Fela, then listening to Lucky Dube from South Africa, then listening to Billy Ocean or Bob Marley. So it was whatever my dad felt, my dad was really into a lot of different music, very different music. So that was my first exposure to different sounds and different music. My dad was a traditional African man, very strong, you know what I'm saying, like a dictator. Yeah. I remember me and my brethren used to give him the nickname Mugabe. Like, Mugabe's around, like, yo, you better mind how you behave because Mugabe's gonna. So, but that was my first way of connecting with my dad, you know what I'm saying, like, through music. So, and I remember vividly, Sundays, like, my mum used to go church. To make us go to church every Sunday, and my job was always trying to figure out how to not to be able to go to church. Like, how do I? Because my dad went sometimes, but my dad more times it was my mum taking us. My dad, and like the days that my dad didn't go, I pretend like I'll start faking sick from Saturday. So I know Sunday's coming up. I'm gonna pretend I'm sick on a Saturday, knowing that Sunday morning I'm gonna pretend like, oh, I'm sick, I can't go. So when once the times it bingoed for me, and my mum took my brothers to church, it will be me and my dad. So soon my mum's left, my dad brings out the vinyl crates. The vinyl crates come out, the special cigarette comes out, you know what I'm saying? My dad rolls his little special cigarette, goes into the balcony, flings on the vinyl, you know what I'm saying? I'm just there looking at the vinyl sleeves, reading. This is 10-year-old, 9-year-old me, lost in the vinyl sleeves, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think I was reading like the names or the producers and stuff. Like, I'm just listening and looking at the pictures, you know what I'm saying? Pictures and artwork. So that's another thing that, like, I was fascinated by, like, the artwork and the pictures and the clothes they're wearing and stuff like that. I think my dad clocked that was our thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I remember one Christmas years later, my dad brought me my first vinyl, brought me Michael Jackson History and Crisscross. The Crisscross album, like, and they were my first vinyls. So every time I did get away, that my mum went to church with my brothers, and it was me and my dad and my dad's brother, or my dad's brother was around, like, my dad would let me, like, oh, yeah, play what song you want to play in your vinyl. I bring out my vinyl, get my little 3-minute quickly, you know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of my love for music, you know what I'm saying?
So how old were you when you realised that music was your calling?
13, 14. So it was really like jungle and early garage. And what really sparked off, like, the hip hop thing is, like, my friend from school, his cousin, he used to go back and forth to America. Then he's come back and he's brought back this tape, like, and this tape had on this tape, it had Nas. That was I think that was probably Queens was my entry point. Queens to hip hop music. So that's why I got a bias for Nas and Queensbridge hip hop. But that was my entry point into hip hop. And it was a Nas J Love tape, J Love mixtape. And I remember, like, before that, I was infatuated. I was getting my mind blown from Skibbity and all of them, and General Levy and all of them doing the Jungle MCs. Yeah. So when I heard what Nas done in 3 minutes, all of these double entendres, a story, a star, my mind was blown. I was like, how are you putting all of these words into a 3-minute, 30-second song and making a story, telling me the start, the middle, the end, there's a plot, there's a twist, and all of these things? It blew my mind. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of me going down the rabbit hole. So from Nas, I discovered Hove, discovered Mobb Deep, and I started all of these other artists, Wu-Tang, and then I just became an avid subscriber to Source magazine. That was my only way to get it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so it was like the magazines, or waiting till my mum and dad go to sleep at night and sneaking into the front room and watching MTV on the box. Before we had cable, I remember my dad's other brother used to live in Docklands, and we lived in like in Hornsey, like Upper Holloway, between Finchley Park and Upper Holloway, and I used to beg my dad to go, I want to go and see Uncle Jeffrey. I don't really want to go and see Uncle Jeffrey. I just wanted to go to Uncle Jeffrey's house because he had cable, we had the satellite, you know what I'm saying? So I used to go to Uncle Jeffrey's house, my cousin's house. Like, I'm the oldest, so all my cousins are like, they're younger than me.
Yeah.
They're playing around. I just wanted to be able to go to the house, watch the movies, and watch the MTV base and the TV channel. So by the time we got cable, that was my only exposure to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, staying up late, catching the late videos that you're not supposed to be catching, and collecting these XXLs and the Source magazines and stuff like that. Yeah, that was my entry point to it, collecting it.
And for those that don't know, the Source magazine was the hip hop Bible in the 90s. Like, if you didn't make the Source, then you weren't really genuinely hip hop. What was the next step? How did you get into rapping? What happened next?
So I was really trying to ting MCing, like jungle MCing. Everyone was walking around with their little 8 bars, a little 4-bar shit, like in school, like. But it's funny enough, I never really ever done a jungle, like my jungle bars. It just, I remember like writing it and keeping it to yourself and stuff like that. And then by the time I discovered hip hop, I was like, that's dead. Yeah. I was already over it. So now my mind is like, everything I'm writing is, I'm like, until I can decipher like the things I just heard, I don't want to even talk about it. So it was really just something for myself. I never shared it with no one for a while. Like.
So what was the difference between the jungle MCing and rapping for you? Like, why were they different? Because a lot of people will go, well, it's just rap. One's slightly quicker and one's slightly slower. What was the difference? I feel like jungle MCing and jungle, the whole jungle movement was about a feeling. It was more about having fun, but bragging about how sick you are as a jungle MC. But I was having fun. It was not really saying nothing, really, but to make the people that you're trying to in the dance catch a vibe. You're really there to assist the DJ. Really, that's best. But with rap, you ain't there to assist. You're there to tell your story, and that was the first time that I didn't know that. You weren't just, this MC, like, just hypes up. Yeah, put your hands up, hype. Like, no, you was there telling, this is who I am, this is what I like, or this is where I've been, this is what I've seen, this is what I'm trying to get to, this is my dreams. It was, and you could say that in 3 minutes, 30 seconds, instead of an 8-bar saying the same thing 3-4 times. You know what I'm saying? So what was it like when you were writing your first rap? Like, how did you get round to writing your first rap?
We used to get like the TDK tapes. We'll go back there, yeah. TDK tapes, and you used to put the little sellotape over the little things on the top, like on the little corners of the top. Yeah. And you had the 2 double tape. You had the A tape and you had the B tape, the two sides. And then you could collect the mic. Yeah, the mic aux you can get. So we used to put the mic aux in there. And then on the back of the singles that used to come out, you remember singles were only CDs, guys. Like, singles were tapes, cassette tapes, and CDs. Yeah, go to Virgin, get your cassette tape and your CD. So we used to only get the tapes. So people were still getting the CDs, but we wanted to get the tapes specifically because on the reverse side of it, you had some songs had the instrumental version. Remember, you get the instrumental. Yeah. So we used to put the instrumental in one side, and then the TDK tape. So playing the instrumental. And then the blank tape in the other side, and record ourselves over the instrumental. Okay. So that was our first idea of a studio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Set up, and then that's how we started writing. So it started up as freestyles, just messing about, rhyming like rappers, like Nas's verses and stuff like that. And then once we got used to the cadences of like, all right, cool, then writing your own. I was doing karaoke and Illmatic, karaoke and in Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then until I then living life until things I felt I wanted to write about. So it could have been like, oh, yeah, that girl T said to me she ain't going to give me a number. Or all of them little things that you go through when you're going through. And then from there it became, the more life experiences I had, the more detailed, the more...
So how old were you at this point?
I discovered hip-hop about 13, 14. And by 16, 17 in my head, I was a rapper. I was like, yo, that's all I'm going to do. 13 to 16, no one knew. Everyone kind of, oh yeah, you're trying to think, you're doing your little rap thing. Yeah. Oh, spit a bar. Nah, I don't want to do nothing. But I reckon about 16, when I first felt confident to be like, yo, this is what I do, and they hear me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was 16 when we had that conversation.
Exactly.
I said, I'm going to work in the music industry and I'm going to be a music industry executive. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? And you turn around to me and you're like, yeah, go and do it, B, because I'm going to be a rapper.
Yeah. I remember that.
And many years later, here we are in the business. So tell us about that time from 16. What happened after that? How did you become a rapper? You became known as Tugsy, the rapper, and you had a crew. What was that transition like? How did that happen? What happened after 16?
So we met when we was about 16, right?
That's right.
In sixth form college. So after I left that sixth form, I went to another college, St Islington College, Bate College in North London. Flames, Bate College in North London. So at the time. And everyone where Hackney, man from Hackney, man from Highbury, Tottenham, Finsbury Park, everyone, you know what I'm saying?
Highgate, Camden, Kentish Town, everywhere.
Everyone's coming, that was just like debate. And funny enough, people rappers like Biggs was at my college, Sway used to come down there, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people used to just pass through the college. And we used to have, there used to be like little cussing matches, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the cussing matches turned into like little ciphers, people spitting their little bars, and that's when I felt. So when I first started saying my little 16s and my little 32s, and everyone's like, yo, oh shit, you're sick, you know what I'm saying? So from around 19, 20 is when all of the DVDs started coming. Like you had the Streets Incarcerated, Risky Roads. Kids were just taking their camcorder, going to different areas, different estates, names they might have heard of, because there weren't no internet.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you might have a cousin. Yeah, my cousin's from North London and he's one of the sickest rappers. Or my cousin's from South, he's a better rapper. Oh, all right, cool. I've got a camera. I'm going to film your bedroom over there. I'm going to go. And a lot of kids were doing that, floating around. And that's how names started flying about. You know what I'm saying? So, and I guess that's how my name started floating about, like North London art ends. But then outside of art ends, it's like DVDs. A lot of the DVDs in South and stuff like that. So one of my first opportunities in music was, there was a crew called 2G Family and a guy called Manny and a guy called Kai, and they were from South. So Solid was doing craziness, and Mega was trying to expand outside of So Solid, meaning like bringing other entities, other people from backgrounds like him and I know he had put on North Star at the time, and so he was Kai and Manny and from 2G Family, they were from the same state as Mega, so Mega gave them an opportunity and gave them a situation, and then they had put me on as a rapper. So I'm this 19-year-old me. Now I'm signed to 2G Famo and 2G, which is going to be distributed through So Solid, and that was my first entry point into like seeing how it works from that level. So I'm going to the studio, seeing how the studio works. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing was mouth closed, eyes open, ears open. And I think that served me my whole career.
So break that down. What do you mean, mouth closed, eyes open, ears open? Break that down.
Speak less, listen and see more. The less you open your mouth, the more you can take in, the more information, the more, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that maybe that was, back in the day, that was from where I come from. You don't want to be a chatty pay where I come from. And that weren't the cool. Now, and I think it's a balance now. You didn't want to talk too much because you didn't want to come across as the guy that's like, oh, you're just talking. Like, you wanted to do more than you spoke, coming from where I come from. So if you were saying like, yo, I'm out here, I'm trapping, or I'm doing what I'm doing, or I'm out here doing this, the thing weren't to do was to talk. You had to talk after you done it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that was a thing that I always carried, like, from my generation, was open your eyes, open your ears, close your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
So what happened next? Like, you got into club promotions, you're rapping, you've got a crew, there's loads of stuff happening. Like, how did that all come about? What happened next?
It's my friends, like friends I grew up with, like people I grew up with around the state, friends from primary school, friends from the area, and then we formed this collective called Incarcerated Entertainments. Well, ironic really, because years later I really become incarcerated. So like, you got the you got to be careful what you speak into your life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we had a crew, and it was me trying to live my dream, but share my dream with my friends.
Yeah.
What I had to learn in that process, it was my dream. So it was a period of time for my friends, and maybe they weren't as serious about it as bad as I was at the time. Now looking back on it, but it was more about me trying to figure out, I want to do this, but I want to do this with my friends. And you try to.
And what makes you say that you feel like, you know, it was your dream and it wasn't their dream?
It got to a stage when you're like, all right, cool. I'm going to take this seriously. And if I'm taking this seriously, that means that whatever I'm doing, whatever my financial things I'm getting financially, I'm going to reinvest in myself. Friends will be like, they want to pursue other things. So maybe this was a hobby. Then it's like, oh, no, I don't really want to take that seriously. I want to do other things. But it was a way for us to stay out of trouble, really. The man them go to the studio, record, put the records out, listen to it, play them. People feel it. But to me, I was chasing it like it was going to happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, no, I'm serious. It's going to happen tomorrow. And it got to the stage when I had to find people that were serious like I was serious. You know what I'm saying?
So what happened then once you're by yourself? You said you're looking for people, you're trying to figure it out. How did you take the next step? It's
weird now, because now I'm looking back on it, I had no plan about music. I just knew that, I'm going to make music and I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out some way. And people are asking me, like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm out here, I'm trapping, I'm out here doing what I'm doing, trying to get to it. And I'm going to do this music thing. You know what I'm saying? But what's a little bit delulu about it, when I think about it, there was no YouTube. There was no infrastructure. There was nothing.
Yeah.
The spark of Channel U, these times Channel U was like around, and the energy and the hope Channel U gave a whole generation.
So just for our viewers, Channel U was a cable channel that highlighted UK street music.
When it went from searching for it on DVDs to, you can go to a channel on cable every day, any time of the day, it's a slew of all of these. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And by the time Channel U had come, I'm saying, what Channel U was, 06, 05? It made London feel smaller. Because at that time, London, forget about the world, London, England felt massive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But by 2006, I meet Sincere. So I'm from one part of this Finsbury Park, like the Holloway side of Finsbury Park, and he's from the Manor House, the other side part of Finsbury Park. So Biggs was doing a record with Sway, rep in London. I remember Jaru had that song New York.
Yeah,
they had a remix of it, and Biggs invited me to come down, and then Sway invited Sin to come down, and that's how me and Sin met through Biggs and Sway. So me and Sin come down, met each other there, and then we was talking, and we just found out, you live in that side of Finsbury Park, and we was just like, how come we had a lot of same mutuals, and was like, how comes we ain't met before?
Yeah.
It started from talking to, he said, come down to this session, I got this session, I'll follow him down to this session, I'll come down to I'm doing this, and it just kept on projecting. And that was, I think, the first time I met someone that was on it like I was on it, and willing to put it all on the line. You know how hard it is to keep on make you believe that, I can do this.
Yeah.
To have someone else that is just as delusional as you and say, we can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I reckon I needed it at that time. I reckon I met him when I needed to meet him, and he met me when we needed to bounce off of each other. You know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of Stay Flee Get Lizzie.
So talk to us about Stay Flee Get Lizzie. So, this is a term that is in the urban vernacular now, that is seen as, a slang term. The Lizzie is term for money. Explain to us that term. Explain to us what that term means. And some might say that you guys kind of coin that term? Am
I am gonna hold you like, yo, that was me and my bro. That was me and Sincere, like me and my bro. Like that word Lizzie was an inside joke between me and my bro. Like 100, keeping it a bean. That's us. Like that was me and Sincere. We had a song that we was working on. I never really. I laugh when I think about it. Now we had a song called Elizabeth, and it was about the Queen, about the Queen is in the money being the Queen, and professing our undying love
for Elizabeth.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how Lizzie was shortened for Elizabeth. So Lizzie was a little pet name for the love of our life. You know what I'm saying?
The money,
you know what I'm saying? And it just started from there. We kept on saying it. Looking back on it, we done so much stuff. Like we done our first straight to So Sincere. So was it So Sincere? We done straight to DVD, like the first film kind of DVD things.
Yeah.
We had Scorcher, Wretch, DWE, all of these people in it, acting in it, like, and these just spare moment ideas. We was like, oh, we should do this, and we just done it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was the energy I needed. Someone that was, yo, I've got this idea, or I've got this idea. Don't wait for it. Just go out there and do it, and make the mistakes while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And learn from them, but still do it. Every time we did that, we proved to ourselves, yo, like this ain't as hard as we thought it was. If we can do that, maybe we can refine it and do it better. And that was the beginning of it. So by the time we finished this collective of records in that period of time, like Lizzie was a word that we was always using. So and then Sin, I think Sin come up with the term. He's like, yo, we're gonna stay Flea, get Lizzie, and we called it mixtape. Stay Flea, get Lizzie. Is this what you want? And what that really meant was, like I said, self-explanatory. Stay Flea, stay fly, get money. But is this what you really, what we meant by in brackets, is this what you want? What we were trying to say is this who we've got to be for you to take us seriously? We've got to be the guy in front. If you look at the album cover, the album cover is like, we got girls in lingerie, we got Louis Vuitton, we got like champagne poured out, we got jewelry, and it was a message that never all people just concentrated on was the stay Flea, get Lizzie.
Yeah.
But if you look at the mixtape, it says stay Flea, get Lizzie, is this what you want? And what we were trying to say is, we've got to paint ourselves as these people. I've got to be this version of myself for you to even look at me. Then to see if I'm an intelligent person or you know what I'm saying? Like, or I've got my head, but I've got to show you this character first. And that was the idea of the whole tape, and put that out there. And that tape had records like Flygeria, Seatback, and like Blood's Thick in the Water. A lot of records that I ain't heard in time, but when I do, I have memories of it, of not about the music, but what we overcome creating that music, what we were doing, and what we were overcoming to make that music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why it's special to me. Like, yeah, but Lizzie is us. That was us. That's me and my bro.
So you mentioned Flygeria. Can you tell us what that is? And, you know, as you entered your Flygerian phase.
Flygerian phase, you know?
What that looked like? Because I remember I was managing you at the time. So tell us a bit about Flygeria, the term, what that means, and that period.
So the term, there was Biggs, this guy Biggs I was telling about, and Biggs had a brother called Zaza, Zaid, and his nickname Zaza. And we're all Nigerian, and in these times we're feeling ourselves, we're fly young men, getting to it, you know, feeling ourselves. And I remember like Zaza and me and Biggs used to like call ourselves Flygerians. So that was a word that was kind of flowing about.
Yeah.
So how the song came about is, I'm at this dance with my cousin, and this dance I went to, this is where I met my wife. My wife I'm married now. I've been married 7 years, but I met my wife. We've been together 14 years, but we're married 7 years. I met my wife there, and I remember coming into this dance, and saying to we went there by accident. We were supposed to go somewhere else, couldn't get in. You know, the man on the road, middle of the West. This is when West End was. The parking was good in West End. There was no congestion charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go out there, you know, there, leave your car there. It was the good days.
But it was very difficult to get into clubs.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult to get into clubs. It was the good days. It was the good days in West End. Like, so we gone to this dance now, and we ended up in this dance, but it's playing African music that I used to hear in African parties as a kid that my mum used to take me to. But everyone in this dance is my age. They're young, like, and the gal in there is gal like rice. It's crazy. It's crazy in there. So now I'm just confused because I didn't know this is like my house or my uncle's house or in the West End, and everyone's enjoying the music that. You know what I'm saying? The young people. And that's sad to say, like, that's sad to say to looking back on it now, but I was confused, shocked, and happy at the same time, like, so. And that's what inspired me to write that experience. So Dirty December, everyone talking about Dirty December now. I'm going back to Nigeria, shoot. I'm talking, 06, 07, 08 was the beginning of the first Dirty Decembers when people are going back to Nigeria and tearing down.
So Dirty Decembers is when people fly out to like Nigeria Ghana for parties
and stuff like that.
Celebrating Christmas and stuff out there.
Yeah, so I met my missus. And so when I started seeing her, she's putting me onto all of this music now. She's like, yo, have you heard of this and heard of that? And what about this? And you should come to this. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So that's what inspired me to write that record. That's how the record came about.
So tell us a bit about that record, because obviously that record, at this time, I was managing you as an artist, I remember, and you had like Tiny Temper on it, you had Biggs, you had quite a few different artists on it.
Yeah, G Fresh on that, SAS and Dot Star on that.
That's right, and I remember the video went viral on YouTube, or for that time, it had
this is the beginning of YouTube. This is when Soulja Boy just bust YouTube. This is like just after Soulja Boy just come out and just tear. Soulja Boy inspired me and Sin to get into our YouTube. That's what made me and Sin go so hard on YouTube, on MP3s. We was doing this. Talk about MP3s before people were still burning CDs. Me and Sin was on downloads because of this shoot from Soulja Boy. Yeah, so it started from that period there. Yeah, so like you said, what the Flygeria
record going viral on YouTube. And record labels start to call my phone and they're eager to meet you, but something happened. What happened, Mark?
2 weeks before the record came out, like I remember 2 weeks before the record was about to come out, we had the trailer out. Remember we had the trailer out, and what made me feel like that record connected is I was honest. I said I was born in the motherland but raised in another land. I was young and confused. I wasn't grown enough to understand. Till I went home and I was shown on the beauties of my mother's land. So what I meant by that is that I come into this country when I was 4 years old, yeah?
Yeah.
And I never went back to Nigeria till I was 22. So for them years, like, remember, like, we was trying to sort out our papers, we had immigration issues and stuff like that. And interesting story, the reason I got all my papers to stay in the rights and everything and all my passport and stuff is Jeremy Corbyn. It was my local. It was like Finsbury Park,
local MP.
Yeah, and right. I remember he used to come to. I think about it. I remember he used to come to my mum's house, come to our house, and like help my dad and my mum sort out the forms, get them the legal papers and stuff like that. That's why he was on hands with his consistency, in his area. Sorry. So yeah. So that lyric really was me trying to say, like, I had been away from home for so long that by the time when I got back home, I was seeing, you know what I'm saying? So remember, I saw that I was 22 when I went back, but I writ Flygeria 4 years after that.
Okay.
4 or 5 years after that experience. But what reminded me about that experience was the club. Going back, that it made me think about, I went back to Nigeria, and now all of these things that I love about my culture, for the first time, the world or other cultures or other people are you know what I'm saying? I could have never imagined what it is right now. It's crazy, and I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. But I grew up when it was. I was a proud African when it was hard to be a proud African. I grew up in the 90s when it was, he's African. But listen, I used to, primary school, I used to have fights every registration. Do you know why? because they used to say my name, the teacher. This is how I know how ignorant the world was. The teacher, I remember this, and I remember he's from New Zealand. I can't remember his name, but I just remember the accent. He was from New Zealand. And he said my surname, and he tried to pronounce my surname, and he's like, "Oh, that's a mouthful." he made a 7-year-old kid, I'm 7, 8, yeah, stand up in front of the class, yeah, write my name on the board, yeah, and then pronounce it to him, and he laughed. Like, I never forgot that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I mean. He's dealing with as African, and there's like, oh, you eat that funny food. These are teachers. This is not the kids. These are adults talking to children like that. You know what I'm saying? So for where it is right now, and now I'm right. So every time they used to say my name in registration, and someone laughed. Whoever laughed, yeah, all right, it's cool. It's me and you.
So you'd fight. You'd fight. Now.
I'll fight.
Wow.
Secondary school, my first week in secondary school, same thing. First, because I knew it was coming. So anyone that laughed, because once I got that out of the way, then you just left me alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was like that growing up.
Okay.
So where it wasn't, so how it is now, I'm open. I love it. I love like how where it's come to. But
the African pride.
Yeah. So that song, me doing that song was, and that's probably the only song that my mum ever thinks. So we go back to what happened after. So when that's 2 weeks before that song was about to come out, my checkered past caught up with me, my past life caught up with me. Interesting enough, I got arrested 2 weeks, like a month before. Like they found some weed on me. Stupid shit, found some weed on me. Cool, not a major. And I remember like, yo, I just finished shooting the video. I think it was I got arrested a week before we were supposed to shoot the video. That happened. I got out of that and then shot the video. And then 2 weeks before the video was about to get released, my door gets kicked off. I get arrested. My past life had caught up with me. And yeah, now I remember they're kicking off my door on the 2nd of September. It's my brethren's birthday. I remember because I just left my brethren's house. I went home, fell asleep on my couch. I woke up to the police kicking down my door, kicked on my door, and I didn't see road again till 2013. From that day, 2009, September the 2nd, till 2013, June the 12th.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So the police came to your front door. They kicked off the front door. What's going through your head? What happens next?
5 minutes to flush. That's the only thing. Nah, I'm joking. I'm playing. Nah, it's mad because I was confused. It was firearm police.
Okay.
It's firearm police, and I was confused at the time. Like, so when they've come in, it's fire, like guns, dogs. I'm in my fucking boxes. I'm in my boxes asleep on the couch, and they come in. So and they're more concerned about asking me about firearms and shit like that, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And then they start searching the house. They find one thing leads to another thing. So then they ended up finding like paraphernalia and drugs, like, and then. So they even told me, they said to me, listen, we don't care about this. We don't care about the drugs. We don't care about the coke. We don't care about the mixed. We don't care about none of that. We're here for the guns. They're saying that a firearm was discharged and then they found a spent bullet, allegedly. And that they want to know about the firearm. So, and they said, if I tell them about the firearm, that they can make this my sentence thing easier, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I remember in the interview, the police officer said to me like, listen, mate, just take it on the chin, mate. You've had a good run. He said that to me. You've had a good run, and he said like, yo. I got caught late. I went to jail late in life as well. Like if this happened 21, cool. But late in life, but it happened for me. I reckon it happened to me. The worst thing to happen to me was the best thing to happen to me.
So how old were you when it happened?
29.
29.
So I'd been, remember, from 16 to 29, I've been working my life trying to crack this dream. So now I've got the biggest record I've ever had in my life. I'm going into local shops and they're like, oh, Nigerian, yeah, or Nigerian pride. I'm hearing Ghanaians saying we're Starians or all of these other altercations, like, and I was like, it's picking up. And I remember having all these things happening, and now I'm 29. Just as I'm about to, remember we got booked to do the World Cup.
Yes.
We got booked to do the World Cup in 2010.
Yes.
And I was supposed to perform that record at the World Cup in 2010 South Africa, right?
I'd managed to negotiate a situation for you to perform that, yes.
Yeah, and so I get nicked. And now all of this thing that I've been leading up to, I'm devastated. So that's more what I'm concerned more about. It's not even the charges. I don't give a, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I worked hard to get to where I'm trying to get to. And in my head, I own it. Like, I made a decision. I took calculated risk, and what I perceived to be a calculated risk, and I did it. I did what I did. From my perspective, in good faith, of trying to get myself out of where I was and move on to what I wanted to do. But I got caught. I can't blame no one but myself. You know what I'm saying? And jail was the first beginning of my journey of accountability. You know what I'm saying? And I was at the right age to be able to look at myself like that. Any younger, I would have said, man, you know what I'm saying? I was at the right age to be able to feel like, yo, I never came on the street to be a street nigga. I never put myself on the road, or like, that was never how I saw myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything I did was always just a means to an end. I was head over heels in love with my dream.
Yeah.
Nothing else mattered. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't care. So that's why people in that world where I was trapping and stuff, were telling me, like, you man are doing that. You're spending your money on this. Or they looked at it like I was burning money. No, I was. And it's only years later I realized, like, yeah, it might not have worked, but everything I spent money on taught me. Everything that I took a chance on taught me. I walked away learning something. I never took a loss. Every L I took was a lesson for me to be prepared for what I'm doing right now. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So when I got nicked, that was the biggest hurdle for me. Was like accepting that, I just blew up the
biggest opportunity
I had at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I needed to do that. That sounds mad to say. I needed to do that and realize that I did that and take accountability of it and figure out what I'm gonna do myself. You know what I'm saying? So I had a long time. I had 3 years now. I had 4 years. Best part of 4 years to try and figure that out.
You served 4 years. How long were you convicted for? And can you describe what prison life was really like for you? Because often we hear a lot of bravado that, prison's easy, it's not a problem. What was it really like for you?
I got sentenced to 7.5 years, and ended up doing 3 years, 9 months, which I just rounded up to 4 years, 3 years, 9 months. And I remember, like I said, in the station, in my head, I'm like, I've never been, I've been nicked. Few, but NFA'd, nothing really. I've never been to court, and if it when I did get nicked in serious things and stuff like that, it always went to NFA, no further action, and so I thought, like, alright, cool, no previous, nothing serious, a couple minor things, but nothing on my actual permanent record. You know what I'm saying? First offense, 29. I'm trying to do music. I'm doing music. Like, I've got things I'm doing in music. I'm like, alright, cool. I get on the wing. Like, I'm in the prison, in the police station now, and the police, like, the same officer that said, take it on the chin, like, he said to me, you have to be lucky every fucking time, mate. We just have to be lucky once. That's what he said to me. And it's the truth. I want every kid to know that. That's the truth. You have to be lucky every time you go outside and do what you're doing. You have to be lucky. They just have to be lucky once, and it'll ruin your life. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He told me that, and he said to me in that same sentence, he's like, "Oh, mate, you're probably looking at a 7.5." And I looked at him like, "Yo, are you?" I never said that, and I said in my head, I'm like, "You at 7.5?" Like, it's my first time. Oh, you're just trying to scare me, whatever, man. So I get on the wing now. I'm telling my case to all the other inmates and stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh yeah," looking at my papers. Everyone's got everyone's a lawyer in jail. Everyone's a lawyer on the wing. Everyone's got a theory of how you can bust case on the wing. You see what I'm saying? What you got to do. So I'm just there. Remember, it's my first time. I've had my friends going in and out.
Yeah.
My whole adolescent life. You see what I'm saying? Friends going in and out my whole adolescent. whole adolescent life. So, but this is my first time, and so I'm on the wing, asking around, cool. So I've got it in my head, 5 years, worst. Prepare myself for 5 years. Get to my court date. Get into court. When the judge said, we're going to take all your mitigating things into consideration and stuff like that. And because of that, I think that I'm going to sentence you to 7.5 years. That's all I heard. I just heard 7.5. And I never heard nothing else after that. All I heard, after everything he was saying, all I heard was wah, 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 wah. All I heard was a 7. I was like, what? 7.5? And I'm just looking at this guy in his face. Like, 7.5, blood. And then I go downstairs to the dock, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. This is real shit. I'm just going to be real. I'm feeling sorry for myself, pissed off. And then I'm 29 when it's happening. 2 kids, one 21 years old and one 23-year-old, come down from getting sentenced. Remember, when you get sentenced, you get taken out of the dock, you're sitting in the holding cells. Yeah. And then you've got other people coming down, getting the sentence and coming and sitting down in the holding cells till the van comes to take you to wherever jail you're going to. So I'm sitting in there. These 2 kids, 21, 23, come down. And they're like, yo, fam, we're talking, everyone's talking, and I'm just sitting. I don't really want to talk. I'm antisocial. I don't want to talk to no one. I'm still processing. Like, and these kids are like, and then one of the guys and our guys asked them, like, yo, what did you just get, fam? And he's like, one of them got a 25 rec at 21.
What does that mean? 25 rec?
Recommended 25 years. 25, and the other one got 22 or 23. 21, 23, you know what I'm saying? It made me, I said, all right, you better fix up, like. I fixed up quickly. That instant I said, bro, you better stop feeling sorry for yourself. Made me realise that the 21-year-old and 22-year-old, like, they're coming in there and they're laughing about it. Yeah, they're saying it like it's casual. When man asked me, what did I get? I looked at a man, I never said nothing. I sat in my corner. I'm just pissed. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just pissed. Holding my corner. These kids coming up, I got 23, saying it like he got sweets. You see what I'm saying?
Like wearing it like a badge of honor.
Yeah, like it's a badge of honor. Yeah. And I just couldn't get my head around it. But at that time, when I got to the first night centre in Pentonville, and you're hearing grown men cry like babies, grown men crying, I want to go home. Let me out. I'm like, oh, so now it's sinking into it.
So what was that like for you? Because I remember coming to Pentonville to visit you, and I remember looking at your face and you just looked shell-shocked.
I was. Yo, the first night centre, I ain't gonna hold you, like, I was like, yo, this is, they put me in a 3-man bang up. That's
what's that?
Two bunk beds and one, that's 3 man in a cell, 3-man bang up. And then I'm on a wing, so the 3-man bang up, and then you've got cells with, like, the doors open, a man on suicide watch. So I'm walking into the wing, I asked the man, like, yo, why are the screws, like, why are there, like, screws set outside? They go, that man are on suicide watch. So they've got someone watching them. Just in case on the first night centre. This is the first night centre.
Wow.
So watching them. And I'm like, nah. So I'm sitting in my cell and I'm just like, I'm pissed. So in my head, I'm like, I'm still trying to process 7.5 years, Then they say to me, well, you're only going to do 3 years, 9 months. So I'm like, all right, because 3 years, 9 months. So I'm like, all right, cool, 3 years, 9 months. Then I'm trying to break it down rare. Then I never knew nothing about DCAT, nothing about home, open prison. I'm in my head, I'm trying to reserve myself to do 3 years, 9 months behind the door. You see what I'm saying?
So for our listeners that don't know what DCAT is or open prison, what is that?
That's like DCAT. When you get to a state DCAT category, you can go to open prison, meaning that you can get home visits, you can work out from prison and come back and stuff like that.
So it's kind of how they reintegrate you into society.
And it's based on behaviour and how you do your sentence and what courses you've done in your. You have recommended courses to tell you to do in your sentence and stuff like that. So so I didn't know nothing about none of DCATs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my bedrooms that were going to jail, none of them. We were young. When they'll go in jail, what the fuck is a DCAT? They're banging out and coming home when they finish their sentence. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid, young, dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So by the time I got there and I'm finding out about this DCAT thing, I'm like, oh shit. So then I'm asking them, how many years you got to do to it? He goes, you got to do at least. You get DCAT on your last 2 years, your last 24 months. So I'm like, right, so I got to do 18 months behind the door. So I'm like, ah, cool, that's not that bad now. Now I'm trying to have you know what I'm saying? I'm not that bad. But then I'm still pissed. So I'm like, ah, cool, I'm just going to lock off 2 years. And you know what the saddest thing? Music, from when I got nicked I never thought about music for months. Like, it wasn't in my... So I'm just trying to figure out, like, yo, how am I going to get out? How am I going to get out of this situation? So when I did get sentenced, and I'm trying to accept it, from the first night center to the on the wing, and that sounds mad to say, I went onto the wing and I saw my bedroom. Yeah, my bedroom, my bona fide, my guy from my day one, one of my day ones, you know. And I was relieved, and that sounds mad to say, but I was happy. And that's mad to say that. But even him, he was happy to see me.
There was someone that you knew in this unknown experience. It's a little bit scary.
It sounds mad saying, like, yo, you're happy to see your bedroom in jail.
Yeah.
But we're here, and I'm happy. And I'm happy I had someone that knows me. You see what I'm saying? Like, so, and then, but my bedroom, and he's showing me, like, yo, bro, this was happening. Then my bedroom's put me onto other bedrooms that we know. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Then I'm getting the routine. Now I figured out the routine, and then once they said to me, like, yo, I'm in Pentonville, and they're saying to me, a lot of people are telling me, stay here, it's your local, all your people that live here, you can get visits. I'm like, yo, but how can I get a D-cap from here? They're like, nah, I don't like, this is a B-cap prison, you have to go to a C-cap, then from a C-cap to a D-cap. And I was like, why? So why do you want to stay here? He goes, oh, because I can get my visits in, so people come see me. I was like, so you rather stay here, banged up, sitting here, smoking, burn, and like, and I was like, what do I got to do to get out of here? He goes, oh, you got to go on course, you got to do this course. And if you do this course, remember, you get into prison, you're on standard, innit? No, you're on basic. Basic is like how much money you get. Basic salary is £7.99 a week. £7.99
a week?
A week.
For a second, I thought you meant an hour. A week?
A week. That's basic. That's how much. But when you're on remand, yeah, you can top up your account with how much money you want, yeah? And you can spend the maximum. You can spend as much as you want.
So what do you mean? What do you mean by you can top up your account? So you have an account in prison.
You get a prison account, so you can have $5,000 in there and be spending, like, when you're on remand. Is that account
something that, like, your family and your friends put money into?
Yeah. And then the money gets every week, a certain amount of money gets taken out of that account. And put into that. So yeah, so you can have whatever you want in that shit. You know what I'm saying? But once you're sentenced, everyone starts on basic, standard, and enhanced. When I got my first canteen thing, and I'm thinking it's gonna be another £35 spend, it said 7. I'm like, whoa, go on, big man. They said to me, yeah, you've been sentenced now, you're on basic. I go, so what do I got to do to get an enhanced? He goes, oh, you gotta get a job or get a course, like, make sure your room's clean, don't get no nickings, and then everyone's got this idea of, oh, you're a screwboy. Everyone's talking about the screwboy thing. And I'm looking at the man them that's been there. I'm like, yo, bro, so you're telling me all I've got to do is get a job. So I said, it's not worth me getting a job here when I can't enhance and grow. And then, so I left. I got transferred, went to another jail, went to court, ended up in another jail, ended up in 1-0. When I got to 1-0, done some courses in 1-0, moved from 1-0, ended up in Scrubs. I've done 9 jails. 8-9 jails in 3 years.
I remember, because I came to each and every one of them.
Then I ended up in Calderley. So I kept on moving jails to try and do these courses. You see what I'm saying? To try and get these courses done. Got my job. When I was in Scrubs, I was working in the library. I was there working in the library there. And I remember man was like, why are you getting a job? Why are you getting a job? Like, I was like, brother, number one, I can't survive on £7.99 a week. That's bullshit. So if I got to do that, got to myself to enhance. Enhance, you get like £25, £30, depending on what jail you are. Some jails have more money, some jails have less money. You know
and what is it you're spending the money on in jail?
Canteen, like, whether it's like your food, like, because of, you get normal food that they give you in jail, yeah, and like the prison meals, yeah, but then you get canteen stuff that you can buy. Like, you can buy like tuna, mackerels, seasoning, chocolates, whatever. Like,
yeah,
man, I'm making it working. Like, Christmas and Eid was lit certain times. Like, you did the best you can do with the best you can do. I met some really, 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 really genuine brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, good brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I learned that, like, people make mistakes, but people are capable of changing. People are capable of doing amazing things, regardless of they could going through the maddest situations. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and after I got all my courses done, the moment I can get to a DK, I was gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get home the fastest as I can, and even if I'm halfway home, I can start halfway building my life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was my plan.
So speaking of that, your now wife you mentioned was your girlfriend before you went into
yeah.
jail. How did you manage to maintain that relationship whilst you were serving 4 years in jail? And obviously you came out and you had started to rebuild your life and you came out to a newborn baby.
Yeah.
How did that
Decat. No, do you know what? Like, this sounds mad to say, yeah. I think us as men, it takes really, really special circumstances for a man to trust a woman in a way. You know what I'm saying? Really, really. And I'm like, men, we're insecure. We don't admit a lot, but we're just as insecure as women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to
completely.
And I remember like, I met her 08. Yeah, end of 08, mid 08. And so I didn't know her long. I got nicked by September 09. When she found out, she just turned up to a visit. Because when I'm in Pentonville, I'm up the road. So, and you can just, when you're in remand, people can just turn up to the prison and say, you can't, then they'll just tell you, oh, you got a visit. Like, who's visiting me? So, and, you know what I'm saying? And she just kept on coming. So the first time coming out was cool. Then when it was cool while I was on remand. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more feeding my ego than feeding, you know what I'm saying? I needed it. I needed that to feed my ego. Because I'm like, you're telling yourself, I'm going to come home, I'm going to be that. You're hoping you're going to come home. When I got sentenced, yeah, I said, this is long, go and do your thing. But now it's confirmed. You're off the road for 7.5 years or 3 years. Like, I tried everything in my power to push her away, and she just kept on coming. She was just there for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, kept on coming, and then my brothers and my family are on the outside. I got 4 brothers. You know what I'm saying? I got a big family, and now they're like, "Yo, who's this girl?" They keep like, "Who's this girl?" And then she's like, she met my whole family. Like, so it's weird. Like, you're meeting my brothers. Then you have to earn the trust of my brothers. Then you meet the girls in my family. I got my girl cousins that she's getting grilled by them as well. Then she finally meets my mum. My mum's not the griller. My mum and dad are softies. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of my, you know what I'm saying? And then you're dealing with my attitude at the same time as well. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, I just started. I'm like, I got to say, you know what? Right, cool, sweet. It is what it's then. And she held me down, man. I can't, like, she made me feel like she was there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even and the point I'm trying to make about it takes a circumstance. It wasn't the fact that it was I'm inside and I feel sorry for myself. No, it forced me to get to know her in a way I've never got to know another woman.
Explain that, elaborate on that.
I had to have a conversation. Many conversations. Many conversations. And then it's not surface level. It starts off at surface level. Now it's when it gets, I'm learning about what she's been through, her trauma, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're on the phone, like, remember, like, for the first time now, I'm not distracted by the trap. I'm not distracted by my dream. I'm not distracted by what I'm chasing. So what's in front of me is all I can face. You know what I'm saying? And I can't plan for my life. My life's on hold. So I can listen now to someone else.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not thinking, you know what I'm saying? So I listened to her. So she told me what she was going through, and then she listened to me. Then once I got to the time where I can listen to her, and I felt like she can listen to me. So then there's things you can't tell your boys how you're feeling, like, and I don't care what nonsense about. Just sometimes in the jail, you feel you get everyone gets in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you might feel like, oh, my bedroom ain't checking me, my bedroom ain't phoning me. Like, oh, she used to pattern something for me quickly, ain't pattern it as quickly as you used to pattern it, but she was doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it made me realize, like. What made it beautiful for me is that by the time I come out, she was my friend, like my closest friend was my friend. Like, me and you are friends, 16 years. Like, me and Sin were friends. So now it's like I'm in a situation where like, I can't see myself betraying our friendship, me and your friendship. I can't see myself betraying me and Sin's friendship, or me and my friend Victor's friendship. Like, we've been through things that are like transcend money, you know what I'm saying? And she was the first woman to come into a space like that. For me, I don't know about any other men, but for me. And the sad fact is, like, I say to her, that's why I said, the worst thing that happened to me was the best thing that happened. I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have given her the chance if I didn't go through that. And not the prison, but me being full. I could have been in the army. I just needed something that I was taken away from all my distractions, because men, we're distracted. You know what I'm saying?
Totally,
We're
completely.
distracted by, and then even when you're with someone, you know,
distracted by the pursuit of trying to make something of your life and
all
lead.
these things. Yeah, so I had no I'm literally listening, and I'm asking myself. So I have to make. So when I come off the phone and she's telling me, and then another thing about me, I felt responsible as well. Like I don't like owing no one nothing. I don't like that feeling. I felt responsible. You know what I'm saying? I felt like she had sacrificed, so I should sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I come out, and I remember her friend, I know her gal, I probably said in her eyes, it's some jail romance. Her friend, women are going to do what women do, men are going to do. Oh, how do you know she ain't? My Bridget are telling me the same. How do you know she ain't? Oh, you didn't. But I'm like, you have to make a choice and trust someone. You're going to trust someone. You know what I'm saying?
But you went to some quite extreme lengths to make sure that she felt valued whilst you were in prison. Like you asked friends to deliver certain things, and you always made sure she was looked after on Valentine's Day and birthdays, etc., etc. Like you went to some extreme lengths.
Once she showed me who she was, once she showed me what she represented, once she showed me what she cared about, like they're just things, bro. Whether I like it or not, whether I think it's sick or not, but she did. She cared for it. You know what I'm saying? So they're just things to me. They were just things to me that making her happy made me happy. You know what I'm saying? And it was easy. I felt like, because I felt bad, I'm like, yo, your life's on hold as well. So there has to be something I have to give, you know what I'm saying? Not only my life's on hold, your life's on hold. And so I felt I had to, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, and I got big up Ben. Ben was my delivery man a couple of times.
A few times.
a few Valentines. He was how you had to hook me up, so I appreciate that. Yeah, but yeah, so I feel, and I wouldn't have my children. I always knew I wanted children. I wanted a family. I didn't think I could have the kind of relationship my mum and dad had. Growing up the way I grew up. And that's sad. I go home and I see it, but I go outside and I don't think that I can have that for myself. Until I went jail.
Why was that?
Because it's scandalous. It was scandalous outside, man. And and another thing is, men, I find it hard to trust, man. Because of how many people do you ask? Let me ask you something. How many women do men show their true self?
Very, very few. If any.
And now I'm in prison greys, in prison greys, prison blue, eating out of a fucking plastic blue cup, sleeping on the plastic. I've got nothing to prove to nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, run. What are you doing here? I don't need the stress. And then you're crying, you're still chasing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, and I'm thinking, why? Like, there's nothing I can give you, bro. She made me realize that sometimes everything ain't with some. I'm not saying I'm lucky. I think I'm but it didn't feel transactional. She made me. It didn't feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She didn't make me feel like I had to give you something for you to make me feel. You know what I'm saying? Because I had nothing to give, so I didn't want you to be around. Because when you were around, I got nothing to give. But it wasn't that. You believed in a madman's dream. You know what I'm saying? She believed in a madman's dream. So when I come out, she made me. She's the first person to make me feel like I could build with her. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard. Like, remember, we had a child while I was still in jail. She got pregnant while I was still in jail, and my son was born 3 months after I come out of jail. But my son was born. My son was 3 months by the time I come out.
So just to clarify, that was you being on DCAT and home release, coming home,
getting a bit too
created
excited.
a baby.
Yeah, a bit too excited. I wouldn't advise that. That was just me. That was me head over heels, acting a fool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Acting a fool. But but that experience.
So you come home, your child's 3 months.
Yeah, my child. But I never know. I had my child. I got a rottle to go and see my son get born.
You had a what? Sorry.
A rottle. They give you a license to go out for a certain amount of hours, basically.
Okay.
So I had to apply. I told them my missus pregnant. I gave them my missus' due date. The due date come, no baby. And I was in Brixton. This time I was transferred to Brixton. Brixton had an open prison wing them times there. So I went from outside the country. I went from a prison that was Spring Hill, was near Bicester Village and all them side there. And I come all the way to Brixton so I can commute. Because I got a job. By the time I got to Brixton, I got a job so I can come out every day, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Then Saturdays come out for town visit, and then once a month get a 5-day home leave. You know what I'm saying? So I patterned to that. That's what I patterned to. So I was, for the last 18 months, I was pretty much out every day, but just sleeping inside the prison. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me an open roll. So when she went into labour, they told her, I gave her a number. Once she goes into labour, phone this number. The prisoner let me know, and then they'll release me no matter what time it is at night. So I'm sure that I was on, and that was really, I really appreciate Old Type Brixton for that. I ain't never forgot that. I really appreciate that, even though it was mad afterwards, but they made it right. So I get a call in the middle of the night, told she that get out, go to the house, take her to the hospital. She's locked in now, and then the baby ain't coming again. We're waiting, the baby ain't coming. My rottle for the day now is coming to its end, yeah? So now I passed the rottle, the baby ain't coming yet, and now they're telling me I've got a phone on the hour, every hour, till the baby comes. Yeah, because she's in labour till the baby comes. So every hour I phone, the baby's not here, the hour the baby came, yeah? So I had the baby, I was carrying my son for like 20 minutes. Baby wiped down, 20 minutes carrying my son. And then my missus like, an hour, you got to phone the prison. I phoned the prison, and the prison said to me, I told him like, yeah, my son's here. There's congratulations. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to come back now. Because I'm over. So I had to leave my missus, but this is why, and Paul Blake, a good friend of ours, hold tight Paul. So Paul's phoned me, another friend of ours, Paul phoned me while I'm in the hospital, and he's cussing me off on the phone. He's like, oh, H, why aren't you phoning me? When is the baby coming? You ain't phoned me, I heard from you. And I goes, Paul, I'm at the hospital now. So he's like, Paul left what he was doing at work and came all the way to the hospital. By the time he's got down, I had to leave him with my missus and go jump on the train back to Brixton. I get to Brixton jail. They open the door for me, let me in. They open the gates for me, let me in. There's at the gate. This is the entry gate, and he goes, "Congratulations, and you're nicked." I laugh about it now. Yeah, and you're nicked. I was like, "What for?" And he's, yeah, because of you went over your rottle. So technically, that's a nicking. And now, remember, I was supposed to be out the next day because I got work the next day. I've got a work visa. I come out every day. Yeah. They goes, now because you got nicked, you're on a lay down, you can't get nicked, and you got to go up for an adjudication court tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
But congratulations. So that was the day my son was born, and that put everything into perspective for me. And even though they made it right, the next morning I went to adjudication, they dismissed it on mitigating circumstances. It's just a procedure they've got to do. Yeah. I couldn't go out that day. They said, you ain't going to be allowed to go, but tomorrow you'll be back out again. Just sit down today. So they sorted it out. They were cool about it. Just following the procedure. But what that taught me in that situation, regardless of procedure, I am never going to put myself in a situation where a man's going to control my life ever again. That's what it taught me. And now I'm someone's father, even double on that. I'm never going to let them put me in that situation ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's move on. You've come out of jail.
Yeah.
You've had that experience. You've now got a son.
Yep.
Where does Knucks come into the picture?
A month after I come out of jail, I'm adjusting to be a father. I'm just to be a father. Actually, my younger brother come to me, said to me like, "Yo, Knucks is rapping now," and I'm not thinking about music. Music's the last thing in my head. Like, yeah. Since turned the brand that we started, like the thing that we started into, like it's a clothing brand now. So it's gone from Lizzie, the word that we had as a. And it's like, and he's like, "Yo, you got a seat at the table, like, yo, like this." Like,
so he's turned the word Lizzie into a clothing brand.
Into a clothing brand.
Okay.
So it's gone from and he's like, "Yo, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now. You got a seat at the table. This is what you're doing. This is what so I just fitted back into the fold. But and I respect that. That was my bro. But my whole thing at that time was like, I needed to, and I appreciate that. But like I said, I never want to be. I always want to bring value. I appreciate a man put him on. Making a plate for me at his table and giving me a seat, you know what I'm saying? But I need to bring value to that table and to that seat. So he was like, "Yo, yeah, this is what we're doing. Boom, just I know you just come home, you've been away, like it's changed, like be around, man. Just this is what I want you to. This is what we're doing right now. This is how you can get in, but just be around, open your, and that goes back to what I'm saying. Close your mouth, open your eyes, and open your ears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and at that time, so I'm doing that with Sin. Figuring out like cool, working out how we're gonna build that now. So it's not. I'm still not even thinking about music. So it's just that he's told me like this is what we're doing. Knucks comes to me about music, and then he said, then my advice is like at the time is like, yo, I'm not really feeling music like that at the time coming. I'm telling him like, yo, I don't want you to go through all the shit I went through to get that. So, and he was like adamant. And I remember going to my mum's house and my brother was playing this record, like my young brother, and I was like, yo, who is this guy? And oh, this Ashley, man, it's Knucks, it's that fam. Oh, I told you. Then he started playing me more and more stuff. And I spoke to Sin, and Sin was like, yo, he's gonna do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's either you help him, but he's gonna do it anyway. It's like, so would you rather him doing it if you're honest? And really what he was asking for at the time, I was like, well, now I think about it, he just wanted somewhere to record. He had no studio, he had a book of rhymes, and so Sin put me onto, reminded me about my bedroom. I got bedroom Godson. Godson had a studio, and Godson's business partner was Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the studio. Now Godson said, yeah, actually I've sold the studio. Sold the studio. My part shares Energy, but I can put you in contact with Energy and that. So I go to Energy. Yo, my cousin, he raps. This is, I'm like, he's produced for. I found at them time that Knucks produced for. He done the beat for Man Down on Fecky's Commanding album. Mixtape, and he done Mr. Brown for Blade Brown when he was 15 and 16. He's done records. And I goes, how did they find your beats? Like, oh, they just found me when I was going. Just put my stuff on YouTube, and I don't know how they found me. And he's like, oh, so I used that as a pitch. Like, yo, he makes beats. You've got artists. Like, he'll make your artist beats. You just give him downtown studio time. And then when I sorted myself out, I'm gonna start paying for studio time. And I said to him, this is what I'm gonna put you in the studio, get you ready. So I'm like, he's 17 at the time. You know, I think he's 17. Put him in the studio, and I'm cracking on with the Lizzie thing, and close. But that Lizzie thing was university for me, my new role. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I went in an artist. Now I'm coming in. I have to learn a new way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the time, Sin was 4 or 5 years ahead of me in that experience. But that's my brother showing me, yo, this, that. So I just, while I'm learning, I've got him in the hyperbolic chamber, getting ready.
So you went into jail as an artist, you've come out, you're moving into clothing industry, you're starting to learn a little bit about management, and you're just getting your bearings, and you're a father.
Yeah, and I'm getting my bearings. So then, after I put him in Energy, 2 weeks after I put him in Energy come to me and said to me like, yo, I didn't want to charge him. I don't want to charge you. I want to help you with him. I want to help you develop him. And I want to help you manage him. And I was like, yeah? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. And that was the beginning of it. So I left him in Energy for about a year and a half. So from 17 to 18, 19, he was just there making records. We didn't put out our first, that's 2013, we didn't put out our first record on DSBs till, I want to say, 2015, 2016. So when we put out, but he'd been making music all of 2013, all of 2014. You know what I'm saying? And we were just putting it on SoundCloud. It was SoundCloud. We was building our audience and building our community. And he already had the album Stillmatic that he had recorded, that he had written when he was like 12, 14, 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just wanted to record this project that he's had for this time. So Energy helped him record it. He recorded it, and we put that project out on SoundCloud. It's still on SoundCloud, by the way. So like, that's Knucks' first unofficial.
Stream that up, people. Stream that up if you want to hear early Knucks.
Yeah. Influenced by Nas's Illmatic, Killmatic. So and a play on words from being in the area that he grew up in, South Kilburn. So he called it Killmatic. And so he was in there for a year while I was learning what I was learning. And then by the time we got to 2018, Sin, like I said, Sin has always been involved in it. But I needed someone that could help me on the groundwork. While Sin was doing what he was doing with the Lizzie and everything, and I was helping with the Lizzie stuff. And so by that time, Sin had took on Fredo, so I'm helping with Fredo. Sin and Fredo. Sin's doing Tiffany Calver as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm helping wherever I can help. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning in a way that other people won't get the opportunity to learn from. You know what I'm saying? I'm front and right center, picking up information that, waiting for when I'm going to use it for when my artist and my product needs it. You know what I'm saying? I even remember phoning Buck one time. from Buck, yeah, and asking
Giggs'
Giggs' manager,
yeah.
and asking Buck like, and I like, yo, what's this? Asking him advice about this manager. I was like, what? And he still, he said to me, like, I was like, I'm taking emails and like I'm doing. He goes, brother, you're already doing it. I was trying to find out, is there something I'm missing? Like, what are you doing? He's like, brother, everything you said to me you're doing, you're already doing it. And I was like, so it was always a feeling of like imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, well, am I doing it right? And so I'm there watching what everyone else is doing, like trying to figure out what everyone else is doing and seeing if I'm doing it right, and still not very much having my own identity of how I want to do things yet. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to learn the business and learn how to do things the right way, and which is kind of weird because there's no right way. It's like it's whatever way works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In music, so it's not really one size fits all. It's unique to each individual case. So so I was just doing that. So by the time Sin got us a situation, we're negotiating a deal with Ireland. We get Ireland. So just as we're about to sign this deal with Ireland, we get to sign this deal with Ireland, we lose Energy, the guy that
So just to rewind a bit, so Knucks' career's starting to build. He's starting to do high profile collaborations with the likes of Wretch 32 and various people like that. You're having label meetings.
Yeah.
And then you find a situation with Ireland.
Yeah.
And just as that situation looks like it's about to happen, tragedy strikes. Tell us what happens there.
Yeah, so the guy that I'm Energy Nicholas, that believed in Knucks from the jump. I said to you, he phoned me 3 weeks after, said to me, like, I don't want to pay no more payments, I want to manage him, I believe. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to build him with you. He ended up passing away in a car crash. Like, I remember, like, it was weird, like, I think it was a Wednesday. I remember, like, the night I had a conversation with Sin, and we had arranged a meeting, I think in a week's time, where we got negotiation what we wanted. We're going to sign. We're going to talk about how what the deal looks like, what records we're going to do. And I'm told Energy, like, yo, I've got us here now. We're here. We got to where we need to get it to. And I've said to him, like, yo, yeah, we're going to talk in the morning. Put the phone down. Then I remember looking on Snap them times. Remember the Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Yeah, I think Snapchat. No, not Snapchat. It was Instagram. It was Instagram. I think he posted a story. I could have been Snap or Instagram. He posted a story saying, I can't sleep. Gonna go for a drive. This is like 1 in the morning, 12. I remember vividly seeing this message and then thinking nothing of it. Then the next morning, I'm getting phone calls from Wizzy, like Press, all of the people, like Prince, all of the people that were working with him, like, yo, have you heard, like, oh, Energy was in an accident, and and he was in a car crash with, I think there was 4 other people, and they're saying that everyone in the car died except one person, and we don't know who the one person is. We don't know if Energy. So all of that process, I'm getting that phone call. So we end up going to his missus' house, his partner's house. And we're waiting to hear this news, like if it's him, if he survived. Like when we finally got the news, like it's the maddest feeling. I can't, you know what I'm saying? And I've dealt with death a lot growing up, like but this was just mad. All I kept thinking, I just spoke to you yesterday. Like who I was really worried for was Knucks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the person I left him with for the closest, while I was learning and getting myself ready for where I'm going to be valuable for him, and he's getting him doing what he's doing in the studio. He's around Energy a lot every day. You know what I'm saying? That was someone that was really, really became like, and I was more worried about how he was going to handle grief, like losing someone close.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, is that going to affect him? Is that going to affect how he wants to move forward? You know what I'm saying? You never know how grief affects people. But like, so we ended up like that forced us to like bug it out. You know what I'm saying? Just like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this. If it's bigger than us now, it's more than just like cool. And it was always big for me because I'm like, it didn't sink in till N passed away. That I'm like, yo, this is like my little brother, my 2 younger brothers and my cousin. You know what I'm saying? And then it made it very daunting that it's about family when when N passed away, that this thing was like family became a very, very prevalent thing in my thought process. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so we decided to call the album Energy 105 off the back of that. That's why we called it.
So you sign with Island.
Yeah.
Bittersweet moment. N's not there to share it with you.
Yeah.
You released the album Energy 105.
The mixtape, the EP.
And what happens next?
So like, we literally signed with Island 2018, put the project out, I want to say July 2019, July 2019. Then negotiated to get out of the deal by September, I think. By September.
So you sign in 2018, Energy passes, you create this body of work you put out to commemorate his memory, and not long after you put that out, Island say, we want to release you and let's negotiate what that's going to look like.
Yeah. And at the time, I felt like, well, like what? Like, it was a shock, but more now I understand it. I respect it, and do you know what? I'll give like Twin, like he made it like so clean for me to do, for us to like it didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? I know people that's been in situations like that and it's been messy to get out. He was so that's the man. You know what I'm saying?
So you've mentioned that, you know, at this point, Energy's passed. You've realised, you know, your two brothers are involved in Knucks' management situation and the whole team around it. He's created this entity called No Days Off.
Yeah.
What happened with No Days Off at that point, and what was your next kind of move once you stepped out of Island? What happened next?
So basically, when we stepped out of Island, like we had on that Energy 105 I mentioned, we had a song called Home. Yeah. I knew instantly that this song was special. I didn't know what it was going to do, but I knew it was like it was special, because I knew like that song was a song about knife crime, but told in a Martin Scorsese way, not in a Hype Williams. I killed 10 man, and I got the gal at the end and drive off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was shitting myself. Yeah. I saw a man get stabbed. I ran to the car. I vomited. It was very, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it started over, he was talking to the gal. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very, it was no ego. It was very, very vulnerable. It was very, very honest. And that's, if I'm honest, that's how a lot of the confrontations that lead up and spiral into other, to worse things start from. You know what I'm saying? It started from something as trivial as that. Could have started with a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think he told that experience in a very, very honest way that no one had seen before. Like, and so we had that record out, and so I knew. So when we put the record out in July, just the audio version of it, like people, his fans, his community loved that record straight away. And I knew that. But then we come out the deal, like I said, in August, September. But I negotiated that they still gave us a budget for the final video, which would have been home video.
Okay.
So got the budget for that, and we shot that video in November 2019. But before we shot that video, I felt lost. When we got left Ireland, I kind of felt like lost, like N just passed away, and it's, I just felt like it was on me now. Everything was on me. Like, so Sin's there, but Sin's doing what he's. I can't tap into Sin until I get what I need to get Knucks at a certain level to tap into the resources that I know what me and Sin. We had a plan for when we get to that bit.
Yeah.
But my plan was, how do I get him in that bit? You know what I'm saying? So so I was just like kind of in between, like when he passed away, and then my good friend just interviewed me and brought an opportunity to me, and we ended up going to Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes.
With PRS.
PRS Foundation.
PRS Foundation.
I was taking a delegation of UK artists out to Atlanta to a conference. AC3 conference. Festival. And or A3C conference. And we got Knucks on the bill and he performed.
Yeah, we spent that, but it's not only the performance, going out there, it was like, so I went there. Remember, we just dropped out. I went there with Knucks and my two brothers that run No Days Off. So it's Knucks, my two brothers and me. And we was there for a week, right? We was there for a week.
Yeah, we were there for about 10 days.
10 days a week. And I got family in Atlanta. My dad's other brother lives in Atlanta. So I linked up I had family over there. And we just met other creatives, and I saw for the first time that it's not the way that there's not one size fits all. It's about understanding your product, understanding your artist, and doing the things that work that grow your artist in a way that helps your artist. You know what I'm saying? And not trying to. It's like I'm a frog guy, and I'm trying to advertise frogs where they sell fish. You know what I'm saying? I need to go where there's other frog guys, people that are interested in frogs. And I realised that I was trying to force, I was like, yo, no. And I said, you know what? When we get back to England, respectfully, in my head, I had to say, fuck everyone. That was my thought process. When we get back to England, it's fuck everyone. We're starting again. I'm not going to go to no platform for videos. I'm not going to go to, I need to know who really fucks with us. I need to know the ugly truth, not the beautiful lie, not the, oh yeah, I put my video on this platform and now I got 20,000. No, that's cheating. That they went to that platform and you're just the channel that they just hopped on. Are you coming to find me? I need to figure out how many people are coming to find us. Set up the YouTube channel, and we decided from then, when we got back from Atlanta, that's when we shot the home video, and I said, this is gonna be the first video that I ain't gonna give it to no them other platforms. We're gonna release it on our own channel and grow it on our, you know what I'm saying, on our own thing. And when I got back as well, like I knew that I needed another perspective. Like, so I met a young lady called Sandy Abua, and at the time when I met Sandy, she was managing an artist called Amalu.
Yeah.
And I was just impressed with how she was doing, what she'd done with Amma, where she took Amma. Like she found Amma on YouTube, and took Amma from YouTube to where the likes of Drake and Kanye West are, you know what I'm saying? And she done this like relatively just her, like, you know what I'm saying? When I found out I got to just relatively her and a small team of, like, but it was her working 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying? And putting it and doing, and I'm saying, and I saw her do that, and then that. So I was always telling her like, yo, like they should work. Knucks and Amma should work, and unfortunately, her and Amma split ways. And then when I met her again, she was like, "Oh, I'm done with music. I don't think I'm just gonna." She was doing PR. She's back on doing PR. Her original background is PR, doing PR, and she's like, she's really done with music. She's doing PR. And I was like, "Who are you doing?" At the time she was doing PR for an artist called Brent Byers. Yeah, so, and she was doing his PR. And then I asked her like, "Yo, I know you can still do the PR thing, but I need help with this Knucks thing, and I know that." PR is something that we need, that I know that I'm going to need to break him. You know what I'm saying? Because if I ain't going to go on the platforms, like the generic platforms that everyone else is going on, the rap platforms, I need to find another route. And I need someone who, like magazines and all stuff that's going to do it. And another thing is I need to look at Knucks from another perspective that I can't look at him from. I need to look at Knucks from a female perspective. Like, so I needed a female to look at him and see where they can, what... Because I was looking at his female fans and I was like, yo, you're a good looking you. Like, I don't understand. How do we, and yeah. I'm there's things I'm missing. I'm a guy, I'm not going to see what girls, so I just needed so I got her on board for those 2 things. And then through her, I met a guy called Ty. I never met him. She told me about a guy called Ty. She talked before I met him, before I finally did meet him, but I heard a lot of, she was telling me about, this is how Ty and Brent do work. And I was just fascinated about how Ty's business setup and Brent's business setup was, and how their plan was, to use data to grow their audience and using the data. And I didn't that's when I started mining into looking at the Spotify algorithm different there, and looking at Spotify data, Spotify for artist data, and looking at all of these other things, and looking at the YouTube, you know what I'm saying, data, and figuring out a tailored plan for your artist instead of doing a generic one size fits all. This person put this video on this, so it's gonna go out there. So and he was the first one that I actually started seeing that kind of thing. But what interested me the most was the business relationship they had, as Yeah, he was Brent's manager, but he hates referring to himself as a manager. I'm your business partner. Because of this is as much as mine as it is yours. You know what I'm saying? And I never heard it said like that before. You know what I'm saying? So then he said something to me. I remember he said, I was reading something that he put up, not to me, read something that he put up, and he was talking about being a manager is the most unrewarding job. Like, if it's not that
thankless task.
Thankless task.
Don't we know it?
Yeah, because of you can get, like, at the end of it, when they're done with you, if you're a good manager, you might get sunset clause and protect yourself for like 3-4 years or until your club ends. Then after that, you get paid nothing. But them times that you served, that you started with the said artist, that album that you created is much your child. It's like the art. I feel like this is going to sound controversial, but sometimes I feel like the manager is like the baby father. Nobody cares about the father. No. You know what I'm saying? And the artist and the art are the mum and the child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes. And so when he said it like that, and he's like, yo, so I don't want to be working, giving 100% for 20% or 10% or whatever you're. She goes, we're building this together. I want to build businesses with you together. And that stuck with me. So, but I had a unique situation where me and Knucks are family. So I had a conversation, me and him had a conversation, we had a long conversation, and I just proposed this setup where instead of Knucks signed to Atlantic through Knucks, you know what I'm saying? Knucks signed to Atlantic. Like, not Atlantic, I mean Ireland himself. Like, what I wanted to do was put it in a way where the entity Knucks is signed to No Days Off. So anyone that does business with Knucks has to do business with Knucks. No Days Off, the entity, the business, not Knucks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Knucks is the founder of Knucks NDO, the business, yeah? And then my company, Tru Tribe, owns shares in said company.
So
Knucks owns the majority shares.
So to put into context, so Knucks the artist has a company, No Days Off,
which he signed himself to.
He signs himself to that company, No Days Off. Yeah. And then all of the rights, so the publishing rights, the master rights, sit within that company. So if he wants to sign to a record label, the record label has to do business with No Days Off, which Knucks owns. Or if the publishing company wants to do a publishing deal, they have to do business with No Days Off. And then you, as a manager, your company, Tru Tribe, has an equity stake in No Days Off,
which is my pension, which I look at as which is my pension. You know what I'm saying?
So that goes against the traditional model of an artist and then you receiving 20% of whatever income the artist gets until essentially they fire you, and then you no longer receive that percentage. And that was inspired by
Ty,
Brent Fryer's manager.
Yeah, it's worldwide Ty, my guy, man. Salute. So. And he became a guy that, like, now this is before I'm talking about all of these things that I saw. This is before I actually had a conversation with him, man. This is like information I'm getting and researching things he writ about or watching videos he's done. But then by this time we got a relationship with Brent. We got a relationship with Brent. Sandy, we met Brent 2019, and Knucks and Brent are developing their own relationship and talking, and which they're still and they've got their own separate relationship. Then I finally get to meet Ty years later. I tell him like how I set up and tell him how he inspired it and stuff like that. He's someone I can talk to now. Someone I talk to, I tap into, and you see what Brent's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? What Brent's doing, Brent Fires, and amazing what they've done in United
Billboard
Masters.
#1.
And
massive deal with United Masters.
I watched that build from how data mining, understanding your audience, and then using the data information to go to the right markets globally. Like, Brent was in England in 2019 and 2018. You know what I'm saying? No one knew he was doing these shows, getting around, like traveling Europe, like
and that was based off of the data that they were getting
them, like,
back from
this is
Spotify.
Where we're getting. You see what I'm saying? Where's Brent today?
So just I want to get back to the data, but just taking a little step back. So after you left Ireland, you've now decided you've set up this business structure. You've utilised the last bit of money from Island Records to do the video for Home. You're about to embark on creating the London Class EP.
Yeah.
How did you finance that? How did you make that happen? How did you put that out independently? What was the process there?
So now I had this new model set up. I went to I had a relationship with a guy called Craig at Believe. But Craig, I remember...
So Believe is distributor.
The distributors. So Craig was... Before we signed to Ireland, we used to put out... And we used to go on DSPs. We used to put our DSPs out through TuneCore. TuneCore. And TuneCore was owned by... No, Believe is owned by TuneCore. Something was TuneCore's owned by Believe.
TuneCore's owned by Believe, yeah.
TuneCore's owned by Believe, yeah. So Craig said to me, like, listen, like, the company you're putting out, it's owned by this company. You're better off. So he set up our thing with that, 2017. Then we ended up doing what we're doing in, not 2017, 2018, 2017, when we was putting out records on DSP for the first time. 2015, from 2016 to 2018. Then when we signed with Ireland, we left. Then we got dropped with Ireland. We left Ireland. We went to, I went to Craig again, and Craig was like, I told Craig, like, I want to do this project, this EP. What's it looking like? And I knew I needed 50 grand to do this project. I needed 50, 60 grand. That's why. So what I did was I think I got 27 or 30 grand from Believe. And then I raised the rest of the money with PRS. I applied for the Momentum grant with PRS. Got as close as I could to that number. You know what I'm saying? I needed 55 to 60, but I ended up raising about just under 50 and put the project out.
So let's just take that step back for a second, just for those that, there'll be people watching this that are wondering how you are able to get £27,000 from the distributor for an artist that doesn't have a huge track record. So, I recall us having a conversation about match funding and about looking at, the grant and then going and having conversations. So can you explain what that looked like and how you made that happen?
Yeah, so once we came back from the A3C festival, so, and then Ben told me about the Momentum Fund, and applying for it. We applied for it. Once we got we got accepted for it, I kind of leveraged that and said to them, like, listen, I've went out and found X amount of money by myself, yeah? I'm not asking you for 50, 30, 40. I'm asking you for 20. I'm asking you for, like, no, actually, I asked for 30 grand. I said I asked for 30 grand. They ended up giving me 27, which I think was a bit cheeky, like 3 grand. You might just give me 27 grand for it. But I appreciate it. Yeah, but that helped me proving to them that there's 2 things that I did. Me proving to them that I went out there and already sourced a certain amount of money. That I said, this is my budget I'm going to spend on making it. I had a plan. This is my budget. This is how much I'm going to spend on videos. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to spend on recording and stuff like that. I showed them my plan. And I found it mad when I first went there because of Craig was telling me, like, oh, this is brilliant. Like, no one does this. Like, and I thought, this is what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But he told me no one.
So you showed them that you had skin in the game by bringing capital to the table. Yeah. And also you had a plan and a vision for how to execute.
How to execute. And to help at the time, and I've got to be real, home was growing.
Yeah.
Everyone was feeling that, and it was home. I'm going to get back into that. Home was growing. So he gave me the money off the strength of that. You know what I'm saying? So I said, the smartest thing the best thing that happened to me was taking less money, because of that meant I got out of the red and into the green in 9 months.
So can you explain that, what the red and the green is and what that looks like?
So when you take up,
black.
Yeah. So when you take up initially an advance or whatever you're doing, when you sign it, it's a loan. It's a loan. It's a glorified loan. Like however you want to word it, advance, budget for recording. It's a fucking loan. Just keep it straight. It's a loan, and they're gonna want their ROI, return on investment. That's it. That's it. We can talk all the art stuff with the people that care about the art, and you can talk about the ROI with the people that. So, like, you know what I'm saying? That's another space I think a lot of people get lost in. Like, there's a time to talk about the nuances of the art of it, and there's a time to talk business. And I think some people get confused. They keep on leading with the nuances in a room where they don't give a fuck about the nuances. They just want to know about the ROI. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I said, so I took less money, yeah, knowing that I wanted to be in a green quicker. If I look like a great investment taking less money, I get more money when I need more money. You know what I'm saying? So I could have said, oh, I've got 15, I want to get 60, I need 40. You know what I'm saying? I asked them for what I asked them for 30. So if I got 30, I would have took me up to 15 from thing, but 45. And I put the rest of the money that we had ourselves to make it up to 50. I was willing to put my own money into it, as well as other people's money, but our own money, me and Knucks' our own money into it. So that money, it made it easier for me to negotiate my next deal based off the fact of how quickly I was in the green from London class. When we done Alpha Place, remember Alpha Place is just a concept. At that time, it's just a concept, and I'm telling them, yeah, I've got a Stormzy verse, and I'm gonna get SL verse, and I'm gonna get this verse, and I'm gonna get, and they're like, yeah, are you sure? You know what I'm saying? That's all they're hearing, and they're hearing these names and calculating how they're gonna make their return on investment. They don't care about the nuances of what I'm trying to do. I'm explaining to them, they're not the team. They're not that part of the team is not the people that just want to know what does it look like. And I'm asking them for a lot more than 27 grand than that time, but I look like a good businessman. You know what I'm saying? I had a plan. I told them I had a plan. Outsourced more money. Then come to them and said, listen, I've got this money from my own. I've got this money from PRS. I need X from you. It looks like I've got a plan and I'm serious about executing my plan. Done that. Followed it to the T. Done it. And record went out. Did what it needs to do. And it's interesting. We recorded London Class. I think that was 2020. Yeah, but as the pandemic hit, we recorded the whole of Alpha Place in the pandemic. As we put out London Class, Home had just gone. Because by the time the pandemic went, everyone's at home listening to Home. And I feel like the pandemic is another thing that I couldn't have predicted. Because Knucks' thing, trajectory is based on being prepared and having a plan, working and keep on having things ready for when you have an opportunity. But my opportunity was the pandemic.
Explain that. What happened in the pandemic that created an opportunity?
My opportunity in the pandemic was like, it forced the world to not be distracted. You can't listen to fuck up some commas, yeah, in your house, in your robe. No one cares about your kettle and your Bentley parked up outside. You're in your yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I feel, and it's not only one country, it's the whole fucking world, bro. The whole world had to be quiet and not get distracted. So, and did you find out did you find it interesting all the divorce? How many divorces will happen in the 3 years the pandemic happened? How many people got divorced? You know what I'm saying? How many people found out, I've been married to you for 40 years and I just realized in 2 years, I don't know you and I don't think I like you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it showed me how distracted we let ourselves get. You know what I'm saying? So when the world was not distracted no more and you forcing communities of people to discover who am I and what do I actually like? Am I outside pretending to like this thing because of my friend's social circle likes this thing? Now I've been taken away from my social circle and I'm forced to sit either by myself in my own space if you live by yourself, or with my spouse or my significant other, or with my children. It sounds mad. People are finding out they didn't even like their own kids. You know what I'm saying?
I think what was interesting with the pandemic and watching you guys work, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but it seemed like you had a record for Knucks every month in the pandemic. It seemed like something was out, whether it was his record, whether it was featured. Was that planned? And if so, what was the thinking around that? So I said yes to every a lot of them like to calculate features, but a lot of features. That was the year of yes. Them years were the years of, we're in the year of no now. So just for the record, we're in the year no is more valuable than yes now. But those were the years of yes and building. Am I making sense to that? So I knew we were cooking something, but I knew he needed to be visible. So, and a lot of the time they were just, and Home was taken off. So people just were like, oh, can you get a verse? And we built in our own community. Because you know what I'm saying? Meaning that like-minded artists, there's a movement happening like at that time. You had the Venner coming out, you had Samwise, you had like what's his name again? You had A2, all of these different movements, all of these different Little Sims, Loyal Kana, all of these people
and artists coming together and I just felt like it was their time, because you got to think, a lot of them people were making music that makes you reflect, that makes you think, and you enjoy enough. You can enjoy it if you want to listen to it on a surface level thing, but then there's other places you can enjoy it in other ways. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt it forced people to listen and look at things. How many people read more in the pandemic? How many people took up hobbies and found out things that you know what I'm saying? How many people discovered new music that they never thought they would actually like in the pandemic? And Knucks just happened to be one of those people that a community of people discovered, and I happened to understand what was happening at the time and just try to build and capitalize and leverage that. You know what I'm saying?
So the consistent release was
to feed the new audience.
Okay.
To feed these new people that are interested. They're looking at us now. And then while we feed them with things, I knew I was cooking something that was special. You know what I'm saying? So, and it come out. So when did we come out of the pandemic? 2021?
Around there.
2021. And the first year of the real year was 2022, right? That's when we released the thing that we've been cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Which was?
Alpha Place.
Okay. Alpha Place. Comes out. You get nominated for numerous MOBA awards. You win Best Album Award. You win numerous awards that year. You're nominated for a Mercury Award. What was it that made that project so special, and what was the plan around that album?
Home was the inspiration to Alpha Place. So Home was like, I remember as soon as we done Home, yeah, and Home was taken off, we was in the middle of putting that London Class, yeah. I remember having a conversation with Sin's like, yo, bro, we need 16 homes. we need 12 to 16 homes. And I was like, no, I was like, yo, like, let's just, and it's coming. He's like, brother, that's the thing. And what made Home special, what made Home was the thing, was it was like I said, it told the truth. And then by the time the pandemic had taken it in, like, and I'm talking not only England, the world, I'm like, it's mental to think that that's got 18 million views, yeah, and over 8 to 9,000 comments, like, and likes, and 0 dislike, no thumbs down, and released 3 years ago. And to hearing people saying like, oh, it made me cry. Do you know what made me laugh one time? I was watching an interview that Kenny Beats done when Kenny Beats was on an interview with Pharrell, and he was putting Pharrell on some new music, and my guy Kenny, I love you, Kenny, all the time. I'm going to shout out Kenny for that as well. Like, so he put Pharrell onto Home, and he said, the way he described Home, he said, it's the most beautiful song about knife crime I've ever heard.
Wow.
And that was their moments to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, these are people that, like, Pharrell, I look up to, and to make something, to be part of creating something that getting spoke about, people that I respect, to other people that I respect as well. It was a sick moment. There's just them kind of moments. You know what I'm saying? So the whole concept of trying to make the album was trying to tell an album, trying to put a project together that told the real experience, like a more experience that more people can relate to, from an environment that, let's say, a 50 Cent came from, or, you know what I'm saying? How many people get shot 9 times?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get shot 9 times and have a story to tell about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are more people that live like Kanye West. I've been working the slave shifts, so I made shit.
Yeah.
I wish. You know what I'm saying? There's more people doing that. If my manager insults me again, I will be assaulting him. You're hearing them bars, it resonated to more people.
It's a lot more relatable.
Yeah. And I said to Knucks, like, yo, the Sonic is drill, yeah? That's the candy, yeah? The medicine is your story. How do you feed medicine to dogs? You put the medicine in the treat, right? So I said, like, how do we connect with this 16-year-old or 15-year-old kid that is trying to be the next 50, but really in his heart, that's not him. But he feels like he's got to be that to be recognized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How do we make them feel like it's cool to be you? I can come from this area. I can wake up in the morning, gunshots are ringing off, the local trappers trapping, but that doesn't have to be your story. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be your
Absolutely.
story. You have a choice. And the only way these kids are going to realize they have a choice is if they see someone that looks like them, tell it from a different perspective, and be respected by the trappers, by the gang members, by the, you know what I'm saying? It's not just enough to just be like, oh yeah, all right, cool, I've done it. No, how do I be from here? And you know what I'm saying? And that, you know, and that's what we try to encapsulate in this project and make people feel like, even a record like Alpha House, the beginning, one of the intro songs, it's like, that is, when we shot the video for that, I remember talking to the director, Emil, and I was like, yo, we was talking about, me and him and Knucks were talking, and we was talking about like, I want this place to feel like, yeah, South Kilburn is notorious for what South Kilburn's notorious for, but I want this place to feel like, yeah, the maddest things happen in this place. But every morning, the shutters go up, the shop man opens up the shop, the mums bring out get their kids ready for school, get their kids ready for nursery, the dads are leaving, going to work, the kids are, you know what I'm saying? Real life is happening. There's someone playing in the park, there's someone walking their dog, there's something, you know what I'm saying? There's someone getting proposed to, there's someone burying someone like they love this. It's regular stuff is happening, as well as the stuff that, oh, so-and-so got shot last night. We only focus on that and not the real life and stuff.
Yeah.
So when we shot the video, I wanted to show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That. And that was the narrative through a lot of the thing. Like, it's okay to be you. That's the realest thing you can do. That's the most gangster thing you can do, is being yourself in a world that forces you to be so much other things.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So how did you use data for that project? What did you use your data for? You managed to chart that number 3 in the charts, which is no mean feat to do independently. How did you use the data to help you achieve that?
So I noticed something about, I use a lot of like the data from markets, meaning territories. Like, we can only get but so much people over here. Yeah, that was my thinking back then. It's changed now, but at that time I was like, yo, there's a community of people that want to hear what we want to say, but I want to get as much people of this community, then I want to leverage that community to a bigger community in America. So that community might be small in America, but compared, that's a big community for us.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense? So, and I look for that community in America, I look for that community in Australia, my top 5 territories, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of done an ad campaign around these territories. So when we post something, we're doing ad campaigns targeted to that specific territory.
So targeted online ads on like your Instagrams, Facebooks, TikToks, etc. YouTube.
Target to our specific market, to specific markets we're trying to grow in. Yeah, and not only, and on top of that as well is we that week we done everything. We done a lot. Like, I mean, like, we initially done 2 tours. We done a signing tour. But that's really just another tour. We went up and down the country saying, bring your CD, sign it. Like, bring your book CD, sign it, bro. Do a little performance, sign, meet and greet. And while we was doing that, while he was up and down the country, up and down England doing that, we had a shop in Shoreditch that was open. And we had influencers coming down there, filming content every other day. And so he's out there performing, signing CDs. And you got the shop that you come and physically pick up and experience Alpha Place in Shoreditch. You know what I'm saying? And we had that running for the whole week. We was campaigning for that chart position. Does that make sense? So we spent a lot of time doing that, and even that, even to see now, like, that was then too, but to see how look like it all goes down to your success is determined by how hard you're willing to work. And the reason I say that is that I got to big up what Bello and YBZ done with Central. You know what I'm saying? And I got to big up Central as well, because of, you got to think, how many artists are willing to go on tour for near enough 18 months. You ain't been home in 18 months. You're living off a bus, living off hotels. Like, how many artists in the UK can say that guy done that? Recording while on tour. You know what I'm saying? He done that. So I just got to say that it's the work you put in, you get what you put out. So, and that week, I just feel like Knucks worked hard. That whole campaign, not only that week, the whole campaign. After that, then the tour that come after that. Then we worked and we worked that project. A lot of people work that project 2 weeks after they've gone, they've charted and they've done their tour and they've done the festival scene. So we done we worked that whole project all of 2022, yeah. Then 2023, we worked that project again in Australia, in Europe, and America. The same thing, and I purposely left this market alone because I needed them to feel FOMO.
Yeah.
I needed them to miss me. I needed them to. See what I'm saying? And now we're getting ready to gear up to come back again and remind them over here, and then do the same thing again and go back to our other.
I think what was really interesting with that project, I think the sign-in saw Knucks sign around 5,000 copies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's what really propelled you into your chart position, because whilst the streams were picking up, one sale of the physical copy was one sale of the physical copy, whereas one stream of the album doesn't account for one set. So I thought it was really interesting that you guys did that and made sure that, 5,000, that's enough for you to chart. Yeah. That's enough for you to chart in well inside the top 40. So the fact that you did that was pretty special. And, the fact that you announced these surprise gigs that ran alongside the signing. So if you purchased the bundles, you were able to attend a free gig, which meant that the fans then started to create social media moments for you. And I thought it was a really clever way of marketing that album and creating social media traction and awareness around it as well.
And you know what I feel like? A lot of the fans, what I think is special about Knucks is Knucks has a way of making these fans feel like, they're looking at him like he's like, oh, you're the rapper, like, or you're the artist. But he's looking at him like, you're my brethren. Yeah. He's the artist that could be your brethren. And I find it interesting. A lot of the fans say, when I thought, I swear down, they talk like they've known him their whole life. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. It's because a lot of artists, it's hard. A lot of people feel like they put their artists on a pedestal and they're like, but Knucks is a person that when they meet him, they feel like it's someone that they've known a long time.
A long time. That's probably because of how he opens up and strips himself to them.
Yeah, and in his music, he's vulnerable enough in his music to like make them feel like, that I get it, I relate. I've got a friend like you, or I know someone like you, or I'm like you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions. So with your projects coming out independently through Believe, London Class, Alpha Place, are you free to change distributors? Are you tied to Believe? How does it work moving forward as an independent label?
No, so I literally do, like, I tend to like to do the deals like I do with these distros, like by project. So I like to have, so if we've done something amazing, we created together, like, cool, sweet, that, and then whatever the term is, we've agreed for that period of time, cool. But I don't feel comfortable being tied into multiples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it depends. If it's like, makes sense, I don't like, but generally, I don't like, I like to, like, we've done this together, amazing, all right, cool. You want to be part of the next thing, cool, put your hat in the bag. I like the fact that I can, because if it changes, teams change.
Yeah.
I've been labels where you've had a whole team, then that whole team's changed, and you've still got to do, you made an amazing album with the first team, and now you're tied in to do 3 more albums, and the team's changed about 4 or 5. That has an effect on how
on the product,
create a process on the product. You know what I'm saying? These kind of, so I like to, and another thing I like to do is, whoever my distributor or my label is, because of like, whether we do business with labels, I have no problem doing. I've know people think, oh, you got a problem doing labels. I have no problem doing business with labels. I'm like, I would love to do business, but I want to do the right business with labels.
Yeah.
I don't believe in artists signing to labels. I believe in partnerships with major distributor labels. That is, I believe in that, and that works. So I just want to put it out there. I think labels think that, oh no, they're on this, they're super independent. They just don't like. No, I'm open to. It's the right business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what's next for Tru Tribe, for Knucks, for Mark Henry?
I feel like my love for music is evolving into something different now, and it's like. And it's a good thing and it makes me happy and it makes me sad at the same time. Like, because what makes me sad about it is like, do I love it the way I loved it? Like, yeah, and I'm like, no. And at the same time, it's a good thing because now it's a different kind of love. There's new things about it that I love. Do you know what I'm saying? I was for a very long part part of my life, I had a love of it from a artist's perspective. But there's an art to the business of it as well. That's what I'm discovering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what so I love the art of it. I always love that I'm always going to have the artist perspective of it. I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to be a fan of music, but then I'm falling in love with this thing of puzzles. That's what I call it.
The art of the business.
Puzzle is how
the art of war, as Sun Tzu puts it.
The puzzles. How do I put this puzzle together and make this the business side of it? Like make this art, this audio art, connect with you, and you get it how we wanted you to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether that's marketing, PR, the right people, right relationships, all of these things matter. And all of these things matter. It's like
that's the side of the business I've always loved, is the puzzles, putting everything together, the art negotiation, the deal making, just that whole other side of the business that is still a creative skill, but it's a different type of creative skill.
So I think I'm leaning into, but more. What I mean, I'm leaning into more of that. So and another thing is music expanding, meaning that music is being a one-dimensional musician is not enough no more in tomorrow's. Unfortunately, I feel like that's what it was. You're gonna have exceptional artists that are gonna be like, yo, yeah, cool, like that's that purist hip hop art, music purist and art. There's always gonna be there. But I'm saying where the world is going, and I'm talking about the consumers. I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 boys, and my oldest is 16. My middle kid is 11, and the youngest is 2. But the 16-year-old and 11-year-old, they're my biggest A&Rs, bro. And their friends and my nieces and my nephews, I talk to them like 16, 11, 15, 17, 18, 21, and I find it interesting. Ask a 16-year-old or anyone 16 and under this question. They're gonna. Back in our day, it was my favorite musician is this, and my favorite footballer is this. Do you know what it is now? My favorite footballer is this, and my favorite YouTuber. My son is. I don't like YouTubers. I like YouTubers. They're YouTubers. They're content creators. They're YouTubers. And what he means by that is this: KSI is a footballer, a boxer, a rapper, an artist, and a businessman.
Yeah. That
is the new multifaceted. That's the new artist. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's all of this technology that's made it like this. You see what's happening with Kai Cenat? You see what's happening? You know what I'm saying? You see what's Young Philly, Chunks, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't take Young Philly making music as well. Chunks have made music as well, but they still got their footballers as well. You know what I'm saying? This is so being a one-dimensional musician. I'm just saying, bro. It's changing, and change is good. Change is good, because if I didn't change, like I'll still be stuck in '96.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to change a lot of times, and I'm willing to change again and again and again and again. And yeah, because the most important thing in this is remaining a student. As long as I can keep on learning, and I think you'll always be able to. You'll always be learning in this business. There's never a time you're going to turn and say, "Yeah, I know everything." No, you're always going to be learning. Whether it's AI, whether it's whatever new invention is coming. I saw some wild stuff the other day about the contract with AI. What's that Drake record he done with Sexy Red?
The very first
that's cool.
sample of an AI created record to be cleared.
Crazy. See, it's changing, right?
Yeah.
It's in real time.
Yeah.
It's changing in real time, so.
Mark Henry, I got to thank you for your time, for your insight, for sharing your incredible journey with us. It's absolutely incredible, the turns that you've taken, the way that you've managed to turn negatives into positives, and you've truly displayed an unstoppable mindset and an unstoppable attitude. And it's just so amazing to see you come from being in jail to having such major success. And I salute you for that. I salute you for that. So we like to end the podcast with an understanding of what it is that allows you to be unstoppable. So today's question is, what was a pivotal moment in your life where you felt like giving up, but instead you chose to push through? And how did that decision shape your journey towards becoming unstoppable?
When did I feel close to defeat? I probably got to say, yeah, jail, bro. I've got to say, like, no, not even going. It's jail, coming out of jail, starting again. Not going to jail, not actually the sentence. The fear of coming out and asking myself, have I planned enough? And is what I planned gonna be enough? And then you've got an idea of like, does that make sense? And you've got an idea of, you think it's gonna happen in a year or two. I have to wait 10 years.
Absolutely.
For it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
10 years to be an overnight success. Absolutely. Mark, cannot thank you enough for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. To everybody that's tuned in, thank you for joining us on this journey. Make sure you tune in for the next one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And remember, you have the power to choose your path in life, but whatever path you choose, always choose to be unstoppable.